Does this ever happen to you? You're just working away, doing well, and suddenly something new lands on your plate. And your first thought is, like, seriously? Now? When am I actually supposed to do this? Of course you've experienced this, right? And you know that thing matters, but your day is already full. And now it just sits there, staring at you, ominously, waiting. Or it bumps something else that's really important to you. Or maybe it turns into a late night. Now, most people think this is a time problem, naturally, like I don't have enough time. But it's usually not so much that. It's more of a placement problem. It's not that you don't have the time, it's that you don't have a system that aligns your tasks and your time. And your calendar, like most people's, has kind of become a collection of meetings and due dates. And you're managing most of your important stuff from to-do lists, stickies on your computer, organized piles. Your calendar is actually very little about you and your stuff. It's kind of become everyone else's to-do list. And by the way, if this already feels like something you can relate to, I've put together a simple starting point for you. It includes the first few chapters of a story I wrote about a guy named Sam who felt exactly like this, and a simple way to start building a system. It's free, and you can grab it in the link below when you're ready. Now, let's take a look at how all of this should work. In the last video, we took a document, and instead of dealing with it right away, we placed it into a system so that it would come back on the right day. A bring forward system. We put the water in the well, and now we're going to draw it out. But here's the missing piece. Even for people who've used a bring forward system before, or a remind file, or a tickler file, this is the part that makes even those people skilled in these systems sit up straight. When you create a bring forward, you don't just assign it a future date. Immediately after choosing this date, you assign it a time. Right then. Either you do it or an assistant does it, but at that moment that you create the bring forward, you put time in your calendar to complete the work. So if your best guess is this item will take me about 30 minutes, you give yourself 30 minutes on that future date. Now, something important is really happening here. You're not just hoping you'll have time later, you already do. You see, that's where all of the confidence and the calm comes from. When something goes into your system, you know that when it's coming back to you, you'll have time waiting for you to complete it. And this is where most people get stuck. They have due dates, but they don't have due dates. Let me explain that more. They operate with due dates, D-U-E, not due dates, D-O. A D-U-E date tells you when something matters. A D-O date tells you when you're actually doing it. So let's go back to that document. You decide to bring it forward and choose December 1st. And at that moment, you also decide when, like how long will it take for me to do this? 30 minutes. So maybe it's 2 until 2:30. So now you block that time. Right when you create the bring forward. In the future. So when December 1st comes, you're not scrambling. You're ready. This is pretty great, huh? Now, in reality, often I would write something like, please BF December 1st, and my assistant would get the document or email or whatever I was bringing forward, and she'd notice that December 1st Well, it's a Sunday or a holiday, or December 1st is already packed, or I'm in another city that day. Look, I just estimated my bring forward dates so that it would take me only a few seconds to digest the info and put it in the system. I knew my assistant would pick either that day or one close to it when she'd open my calendar, when she was putting in that block of time. Now, when I don't have an assistant, of course I skip the step of writing, please bring forward. I just check my calendar, create the time block, and if there's a piece of paper, I drop it in the folder system I taught in my last video. If it's an email, I use Outlook, so I drag and drop it into my calendar, or if I was using Gmail, I'd create an event, and then I'd archive or folder that email. The email should be put away. It's coming back and it'll show up in my calendar. Again, I simply bring forward the email when the time is right, with the amount of time that's needed to do the work. I'll get more into digital bring forwards in future videos, but the gist of it is that your email bring forward well is your calendar. By the way, if this content seems to be your thing, please remember to like and subscribe for more of it. Okay, so one more thing. I want you to make life easier for your future self. So when you create that time block, start with a verb. Not document review, but review vendor contract and respond. So that when the time comes, you don't have to think about why you created the time block. You just start. You're not just planning your time when you create a time block. You're removing decisions. And again, making life easier for your future self. So here's the biggest yeah, but that I hear about time blocking. Like, what happens when life happens? Well, that's a great yeah, but. Because life will happen. A lot. A lot. A lot. Something urgent will come up. Meetings run long. You get a surprise visit. Maybe you don't feel well or have the energy to do something that day. This is all very normal. So here's the rule. You can move it, but you just can't delete it. Because it's a lot easier to drag and drop a time block than it is to pick up the pieces when something doesn't get done. You see, good systems flex. Life happens, so you move it. Ideally, the moment you realize, hey, this can't happen. You just don't delete it or ignore it. So now, completing a task won't be sitting in your head. It's not floating around as an open loop in your brain all day, or relying upon the glue of a sticky on your laptop. There's no paranoia about things getting lost or when they'll get done. Everything important has a future place. And when it comes back, you've got the time. You've also got directions. You're ready. This is how you draw from the well. Not randomly. Not reactively. Deliberately. Things go into the system and they come back. And you actually have time planned for them. Again, if you're thinking, okay, this is what I've been missing, well, don't try to build everything at once. Take a simple first step. I've put together the first few chapters of a story about Sam and a simple way to start building your system. It's a quick read, 10 minutes, maybe less. But it'll help you see how to stop carrying everything in your head and start trusting a system. Now, if you want that, grab it in the link below. In the next video, I'm going to dig deeper and show you how this works with your email, because your email is where even the best plans can turn into very reactive days.